everyone, we're back.
Woo!
Welcome back to the Graveyard Shift. We are your hosts, Josh and Missy Graves, and we've been gone for a couple weeks. Sorry, not sorry.
Little
We
bit
went
of a
on
hiatus.
vacation. Yeah, and I think we tuned out a little bit too much. We kind of completely disappeared and didn't do anything, which was nice, but also, oh, I didn't turn my light on. That's how out of it we are.
Yikes.
But also, I think we tuned out a little bit too much because we missed a lot.
Yeah, we
Yes,
we
indeedy
did kind
dandy.
of, it's not something that you really plan ahead for here because we did book this vacation almost a year ago at this point. So with that being said, things that happened while we were gone, NBA Finals wrapped up. That was a big
Yep,
deal.
yep.
We had a couple drafts. NHL Stanley Cup Finals wrapped up, I believe, while we were gone.
We
College
picked a
World
great
Series.
time to just disappear off the face of the earth.
Yep, College World Series for baseball also wrapped up. So
Anyway, here on out, here is our promise that we're going to get our ish together and not do that again. Well, at least we'll plan better next
yeah,
time.
we'll plan better.
We're new to this whole podcasting thing. That's fine. We're doing our best, and that's really all you can ask of us. So
That's facts. Yeah.
if you expected more, well, that's on you for setting your expectations too high.
Listen, we're not getting paid to do this. We are doing this strictly for our own entertainment
Facts.
right now.
We have full-time jobs and responsibilities,
And you
and
know what?
we get nothing out of this.
Sometimes
So
you need a week-long vacation of just doing nothing,
yeah.
which we can kind of get into here. Did you say where we went on vacation?
No, I did not.
Oh, would you like to break that?
We went to Oahu, Hawaii.
Oahu, Hawaii.
It was beautiful. It was lovely. It was perfect, really.
Hmm.
I didn't realize how quite literally perfect the weather is there all the time.
Yep. High
Just
at
all the time.
85, low of like 70 year round.
And it's so breezy too that it's like even when it does get up to 85,
Yep.
like you're chilling.
For
So
sure. Especially when you're hiking. We did a couple hikes, and when you got closer to the peak, it got very windy on the side
very
of those
windy.
hills. So,
Yes, indeed.
but yeah, I think we were there for 8 days, and I think it rained for a total of 15 minutes while we were there, which crazy because their grass is significantly more green than our grass.
Well, even when it did rain, like the clouds were moving so fast that it wouldn't you're good. Like just wait there for 5 minutes and it'll be gone. So
Yeah.
that's at least what was our experience. So that was kind of wild. But yeah, beautiful there.
Phenomenal.
Very far away. The traveling to and from was tough.
Yeah, the 6 hour time difference when we were coming home was, like that's something when you're going, you're like, oh, this is perfect. We left at 6 a.m. and we got here and it's now like 12:30. We got the like over half a day to spend here. But then you're going home and you fly out at 8:15 p.m. like we did, and then you don't actually make it home back to Knoxville until 5:30 the following day. So that was that was a bit rough.
Yeah. And they only have flights out of there at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So took my first ever red eye. Don't really want to ever do that again. That was awful. It's really awful.
I really never thought I would complain about this. We had too much leg room on the red eye portion of the flight.
We were in the exit aisle. And so we sat down and we were like, yeah, like Josh always complains about not having enough leg room. It doesn't really bother me. I'm not that tall. It doesn't bother me. But he always complains, so it gets annoying listening to him complain. So we were excited when we sat down. However, it was too much leg room to where it's like you almost kind of want like a seat there to kind of put your rest your legs on to like keep yourself from sliding out.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that at all because it was a lot.
To kind of put into perspective how much space we really had, from the front of my knee to the seat in front of us, there was probably a good foot and a half space there. So as far as stretching my legs out, that was perfect. the problem was that the seat in that row didn't really recline. So you're kind of just like this for the whole flight. And when you're trying to sleep, you can just like tilt yourself. So I was like trying to contort my body here and like straighten my legs out. It really just didn't work. So
Not a good time.
that being said, I slept about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Saturday
do you
night.
think that much legroom would have been amazing if it wasn't a red eye?
Yeah, honestly, I was good if it wasn't for the fact that I was trying to go to sleep. Because then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just like lean forward on the table. But because the table was so far in front of me,
You're like,
I was like, just can't see it in the can. I mean, I was fully like stretching for it, and it's like, okay, this
yeah.
isn't really a comfortable. Plus, then you're like, what's the weight capacity on these tables here? Am I about to break through the table? And that's going to be interesting. Then I'm not sleeping at all.
No.
So, Boeing hasn't been known for their dependability, so I don't want to put it to the test by putting all my weight on it.
Well, so anyway, if
Too
any of
bad.
you are planning to travel to Hawaii, just be warned. It's worth it. Just be warned.
It was amazing. With that said, we can kind of roll this into the next topic here.
Yeah.
Last time we were on, we talked about how we restarted the Marvel series. And let me tell you, when you spend about what, like 10 hours
10
on a
hours in
flight
the
each
air.
way, each way, you make a lot of progress on Marvel movies. So we have made it past we're past Avengers Age of Ultron. What was the
We
next
watched
one we watched?
Ant-Man last
Yeah, we
night.
watched Ant-Man. Yeah. So I would
So
say
wherever
we're
that is.
halfway, a little over halfway already. Haven't watched any of the TV shows yet. We have not made it to the TV shows.
I am still very confused about the fact that there is what was the show?
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter show? Why isn't that in the timeline? I didn't even know that existed, but there's 2 whole seasons of this show. And here we were, like, at the beginning talking about how cool Agent Carter is and she needs her own show. They made it, and just nobody knows about it, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even known it if it wasn't like, hey, here's something that you might be interested in after we watched Captain America. And so it seems silly because if you look at the timeline chronological order thing that they got on the Marvel section of Disney Plus there, the second thing, just picked up on what you did there. Took a second.
Little delayed reaction.
Yeah. But so they have the 15-minute clip short thing that they did for Agent Carter, which kind of feels like it perfectly sets up.
It probably does set up the show.
But then they don't include the TV show. They're just like, all right, here's Iron Man.
But they include all the other shows.
Yeah.
Right? Like Loki is in there and
yeah, I mean, they even got like Iron Fist and all those Luke Cage, Daredevil, all those shows. Jessica Jones.
Josh, what really matters here is that I finally got golf clubs.
You did? You did. That also tied into the Hawaii trip. We were scrolling through Facebook Marketplace a couple days before we were headed to Nashville to fly out for the trip. And found these golf clubs, $50 for a whole set. And they were in Crossville, so that's on the way from Knoxville to Nashville. And boom, bam, you got golf clubs.
And they're pink.
And
they were only $50.
Can't beat that.
So I'm pretty happy.
Are they the nicest clubs? The driver has 2 dents in it. We'll just say that.
But they're pretty scuffed up.
They're nicer than no golf clubs.
Yeah. I will say, like, the difference of using men's clubs and women's clubs is crazy.
Yeah.
I was actually we went to the driving range, first time at the driving range a couple days ago. And I was like hitting it. And I was like actually like kind of aiming it, and it's no big deal, but I was doing pretty well.
No, you were like, the ball was off the ground. It had a nice arch to it. Like, you were killing it.
Yeah.
First time out?
Yeah. So, who knows?
Well done. You're also taking a class this weekend?
Yeah, I am. There's 5, it's like 5 weeks. And then it's every Saturday for 5 weeks. And so Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, gonna be learning from a
We'll
PGA
see.
club champ,
Yeah.
club pro over there. So I'm excited for you to do that one. I think you'll learn a lot and enjoy it.
Also, I mean, I don't know. I'm just excited to see how quickly I can beat you.
Yep, you got it. I got a slight jump on you here, but I don't know. My first time out there, the guy in front of me, who was just some random dude, stopped, turned around, and was like, "This your first time out here?" And I was like, "Yeah, yep." And then he proceeded to give me some pointers, which
How
was,
bad were you doing that he
oh, it was
had to like,
terrible. I was probably sending the grass farther than I was sending my ball the first time I was out there. And then I started
oh dear
making
gosh,
contact.
Joshua.
But then you're like, ooh, if I swing really hard, I can send this thing. And then I just proceeded to just shank every ball that came out after that. And I was like, maybe if I just keep hitting it, like maybe I'm not swinging hard enough. So I've
I
just got
think
to
it's you
really
need to do the
put it in
opposite
there.
at
Yeah, it
that
turns
point.
out that is not the answer.
No.
So if you just swing slow, because I was even at the point where I was like, all right, if I like rotate the club in, so it's like, say this is the golf ball, here was my club face behind it, so that I could account for leaving the club face open whenever I made contact. And that worked, but then it's like, well, this looks stupid, like so. I don't know. It's a fun progression. It's fun. It's fun. I'm having fun.
Yeah. And today you're gonna show me how to clean my clubs
Hmm.
for the first time. So
It, it's
we'll
it's a
see how
pretty
that goes.
therapeutic thing.
Yeah. We probably should have cleaned them before I used them, but
Ah, live and
who
learn.
has the time?
True. I guess we did because well, you had a 4-day weekend.
I mean,
You did.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, pretty sweet here. You came back from vacation, worked a 3-day work week, and then got a 4-day weekend without a single day of PTO used on this week.
Well, they were 3 10-hour days, though, in my defense. It's not like I still worked 30 hours. You
It's
only
not
worked
too
2 more hours than me.
not too shabby though.
Anyway, moving on. Um,
Before we get into the real sports, we've got to discuss the sports that we saw this weekend. We'll start with Joey Chestnut sucking down 70 and a half glizzies over the weekend.
you didn't have to
Uh,
call them glizzies. That
on
wasn't necessary.
Independence Day this year. He retains the title. I believe he is now a 16-time world champion hot dog eater. Um,
Is anybody else even close to beating him?
no, no, not anymore. There was this guy back in the day, Kobayashi. He was really good. He had like a 2-year, 3-year stretch where he was like up there, and then Joey Chestnut proceeded to set himself apart from everyone else. So
Yeah.
Kobayashi
Well,
also now retired from competitive eating, I believe. So it's just Chestnut. I think he won, like, I think the closest to him was at like in the 40s for hot dogs eaten.
oh my
So he won
gosh.
by over 20 dogs. Like, dogs and buns, you have to eat both for it to count. So if you eat 70 hot dogs, but only 68 hot dog buns, you only get credited for 68. So it's hot dog and bun.
I just like I don't know how they do it. I
No,
that's a lot. But good good for him.
gotta love it. Got it. It's a
Good for
tradition
him.
every 4th of July.
Yes.
So, yep, we witnessed that. I think also something to add to our hot take that we'll get to later on is who is the greatest of all time of the greatest of all time, So, I don't know. I think you got to put Chestnut in that conversation now. Other sports that we witnessed this weekend before we get to the biggest sports. We watched Omega Ball yesterday to start the day. That is a 1v1v1 soccer game. So instead of the field being a rectangle, it's a circle, and any of the other two teams can score on the other team, and everybody, it's just a three-way battle the whole time. It was interesting. It kind of felt like there was a yellow team, really felt like they were singling out the yellow team. I saw like 12 shots on goal in a row at the same goal from both of the other teams just going at it.
Well, if they're the worst team and you can get points by scoring on either team, then yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to go for the worst team.
Yeah, there's a red, blue, and yellow, I believe, and yellow is just getting dominated. I will say though, the goalie had some pretty sweet saves, but I feel like you can only do that so many times before you start giving them up. So
yeah. We also watched it was Quidditch.
it was Quidditch.
What was it called?
I don't remember what it was.
Quadball.
Quadball. That's it. Yep,
And
quadball.
so they had, all the different ball types, and we were like, "Where's the snitch? Like, I wonder how they do the snitch." The snitch was a person. He was wearing yellow, and he had like a ball tied to his it was like a tail, like kind of like flag football, how it like flops off. That was the snitch.
That's wild.
How do you get that job? That sounds like fun.
Yeah, what was the craziest thing to me there was that was our national team versus the development team. So we have enough people to make up a whole developmental program
Sure.
in quadball or
Here's the thing.
Quidditch.
I knew that because UT I remember there being like a Quidditch club. So people are interested in this. I just didn't think that
Were
it
you
had.
on it?
Huh?
Were you on it? There's a
No.
follow-up question here.
No, I wasn't. I probably should have.
Did you try out and just couldn't make the team, or?
No. I don't know. So I knew that it was a thing on college campuses at least. I didn't think that it was, being televised.
Yeah. Honestly, great movie with Vince Vaughn. It's called The Internship. It has Owen Wilson in it as well. They play it when they're doing their internship at Google, and I thought that was a joke. I didn't know that it was an actual sport that people play, but it is.
Oh my gosh.
It is a real sport that people play. So the more you know there.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Anyway, it's been almost 20 minutes of us just talking about random things, so maybe we should. Is there anything else?
Yes, quick wrap up. Last crazy sport that we watched was we did watch a little bit of Pillow Fighting Championship last night before bed. That was after we watched the Fever just heartbreaking loss at the end of the game.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But yeah, so after that went off, we were trying to find something. Savannah Bananas was on, tried to turn that on, but that had finished right before we got over to it, which looked like what they did was pretty sweet last night from what I was seeing other people post. But we decided basketball's over. Can't watch the Savannah Bananas. We could watch the MLB or we can watch the Pillow Fighting Championship here. So we turned that on for a minute. They get after it. I mean, I was watching spinning backhands with the pillow. It is. They throw one arm up to block and then come over top with the pillow on the other hand. It was. They're getting after it in there.
It's a wild time.
It is
wild time.
Some cool sports out there, Just got to open your mind here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do you think you can go D1 in the Quidditch, quadball? You think that's a thing?
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
Maybe by the time our kids are in college, there will be a Quidditch team at each school.
Oh, yeah, I signed an NIL deal to go play college. Oh, yeah, what sport? What position? Oh, I'm the snitch, Quidditch.
The snitch. I don't know. That's wild. The fact that they run with the stick between their legs, I think, is the best part.
They're doing it. They're doing it. Okay, now we can get to actual sports.
Let's get on to it.
Yeah.
On to our Midnight Snack segment. This is our men's news segment. So first up, tennis.
Yes. It's being played.
What about tennis? Tennis is being played.
Yep. It's Wimbledon right now.
Things are happening.
Yep. A lot of upsets occurring. I believe Coco Gauff is out. So Djokovic is on the prowl. Tennis, man. It's being played. Ball.
That's all you had to say about that?
Ball is going over the net. It is being hit, and it is being sent back to the other side.
Okay. We don't
Yep.
watch a lot of tennis, if you can't tell. I appreciate the sport, but I didn't grow up with tennis. So
I do too.
I don't know why we're including that one.
Fun because Wimbledon's a really big deal.
It is a big deal.
And Americans have won the last 2 majors this year, so if American can pull this one out, we'll be 3 for 3 this year. So with that being said, had to throw it in. I did actually grow up with tennis. I took lessons when I was like 6 years old for one season.
I played in like 3rd grade or something, and then that was it.
I think it was more so my mom was playing tennis at the time, and she needed to take us with her so that we could,
right.
not be left at home. So then we took tennis lessons. But it was a fun way. My problem was that I just finished baseball, so I was trying to swing the racket like it was a baseball bat, and that is not how you play tennis.
Not the same.
So, plus, like at that age, my whole thought process was like, can I get this tennis ball to go over the fence and out of the fence? Like, can I hit it hard enough to do that? Which could do, but then you'd have to run all the way around to go get the tennis balls from outside the fence. All right, that's enough of my background in tennis. Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Like we said
information.
before, we missed the boat on this one, but we'll talk about it really quickly here. NBA finals are done.
Yep.
They have been for a little while, but we missed it. So, what do you have to say about that, Josh?
I think SGA got a large payday, which we'll get to here in a second. I believe he was the MVP of the finals. And while he popped off and he scored a lot of points, I think the people's champ MVP is TJ McConnell. He balled out. For a guy that's undersized compared to everybody else, he just had a lot of fight. And honestly, Game 7, he's the only reason that it was even remotely close at times, because after Tyrese went down early on, it kind of felt like the wind was sucked out of the sails of all the Pacers. But TJ McConnell he kept scrapping. He kept them in it. And so
he was wild. He just like was all over the place in a good way. Like, he reminded me of Ziegler
for sure.
at UT. Just kind of like small guy, but like he's using his smallness to his advantage because he's just like annoying people, like going all over the place.
What hurts too is that we're calling him like a small guy and like he's undersized, blah blah blah. It's like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, he's yeah.
That's just how tall everybody else is. So Thunder get it done. First championship in their history. So it was a battle of small market teams in the finals this year. And with that, SGA got a payday. 4 years, $285 million.
That's wild.
So now the conversation is, who will get to the 100 million per year mark first? The NFL, the MLB, or the NBA?
Say that again.
Who will have a player get a contract that's worth $100 million per year first out of the 3 major leagues?
I mean, if you look at on average, NBA players make more, right?
Yeah.
Than because I would say NBA player.
I would say right, because Shohei's got the biggest MLB contract, and it was 10 years, $600 million, I think. So he's getting $60 million a year, and that's where basically your top NFL guys are. You don't have to put as many people on the payroll, so you can pay people more because they're only, you're playing 5.
Crazy.
Yeah, so huge payday for him. I mean, good job. They won the finals. Congratulations to Oklahoma. They are you could tell like when they were there, like when the Pacers were playing in their town, it was they have a fun crowd. So happy for them that they won. Wish it was the Pacers just because I was cheering for them, but alas. With that, let's get into before we move on from NBA. The Knicks, who lost to the Pacers.
Interesting.
In the Eastern
they made it to the, what is that, semifinals?
Eastern Conference Finals is where they made it to, and then they lost to the Pacers. Shortly after losing, they fired their head coach, And now, officially, as of this past week, they have hired Mike Brown as their new head coach. So you might be asking yourself, why would they do this? And I think it
I
comes
was
down.
asking myself that.
Yeah.
Please answer my question.
So I think if you look at the last 2 seasons with how they've they've been really good teams. You see how good Jalen Brunson is when he's playing, and then you just kind of see how it falls apart. And really, I think what a lot of people would say that watched the Pacers versus the Knicks this year is that Rick Carlisle, who's the head coach for the Pacers, just outcoached the Knicks' old head coach. So I think it was just a matter of like a couple different things stacked up there from the last couple seasons where it wasn't looking like he was leading them in the right direction. I think that GM had done his part of putting together a solid roster. And so I think one of those things where it's like, all right, we need to keep the players happy. This coach isn't really doing it. We're going to move on from him. So they bring in Mike Brown, and we'll see how that goes moving forward. But I mean, you're in a pretty good situation, right? Like you got a good team. They just made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now you take it over. Feel like it should be a pretty sought after position. So congrats to Mike Brown on that. Now let's get into football. I'd like to start the football segment by saying that we are 47 days away from college football.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a move.
Well, because we're like from.
Hey, mahalo.
We just went to Hawaii. That felt like the right thing to do in the moment. That's exciting. Only 47.
Yeah, below
That's
50 days as well.
A month and a half.
NFL. So we are getting close.
Yeah.
Until then, we have to baseball. MLB.
We have to baseball.
Yep. And we got the WNBA. I think the Tour de France is coming up here pretty soon. That'll be a big watch. Yeah. So we got a lot of sports coming up that I don't know anything about, but I'll be happy to learn about. So
yeah, learn with us.
Yeah. I believe there's a cyclist by the name of Pogacar who's really good. So that's all I got. Shout out Carson because he is the only reason that I know who that person is. So
Carson like biking?
Yeah, he's big on the Tour de France, pretty sure. Oh. He also likes Wimbledon.
Oh, well, we need to have him on and tell us what's going on in Wimbledon.
He's a sophisticated sports fan.
He is a sophisticated fellow.
All right. Okay. So other football news here is that there was a huge trade that happened while we were gone with the Steelers. Huge. So what happened here? Minkah Fitzpatrick, no longer a Steeler. He is now.
Is it Mika?
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Is that how you say it?
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
He is now a Miami Dolphin. The Miami Dolphins traded Jalen Ramsey, outstanding corner, defensive player, and Jonnu Smith, one of my former favorite Titans. So Jonnu Smith has had kind of a bumpy road. He was on Titans. He played extremely well underneath Artie Smith. Artie Smith went and got a head coaching position. Ultimately, Jonnu Smith bounced around, went down to Miami, was their only Pro Bowler last year for the Miami Dolphins. And then now he is back on the Steelers, which reunites him with Steelers offensive coordinator Artie Smith. So expect to see Jonnu Smith, no relation to Artie Smith, by the way. He'll be playing. He's a tight end, but he will be playing every position basically. He'll be a fullback. He'll be a wide receiver. He'll be a tight end. He'll be a blocker. He's a really good player, and Artie Smith is pretty renowned for being able to play guys in that type of position where they're just playing everywhere. Most recently would be Cordarrelle Patterson when he was the head coach for the Falcons. He had Cordarrelle Patterson, football legend, running all over the place. So, and he made Cordarrelle Patterson's position title the Joker because he could just do anything. So,
what?
Yeah. So, with that though, huge trade, big moves by the Steelers this offseason. They got rid George Pickens. They brought in DK Metcalf. They have Aaron Rodgers at the helm. But there's one big question mark remaining, and that would be, is the TJ Watt deal going to get done here? Like, you've seen all the other edge rushers get paid, all the other defensive linemen get paid around the league. TJ Watt is now like, all right, guys, it's my turn. I'm gonna need a contract here. So stay tuned. We'll be listening into that one.
Okay.
And the topic of edge rushers / defensive linemen that have not been paid, Trey Hendrickson, still not a done deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. So, will he get paid? He deserves to be. He deserved to get paid last offseason. They told him, no, just do one more year and then we'll do right by you. And here we are a year later, same situation. So, it's going to be interesting couple months here until season starts. But mandatory minicamp is going on, and TJ Watt was not present, so he has been fined, I believe, $150,000.
Oh, geez, cool. Well, any other?
Last major sports update is F1, which occurred this morning. It is currently 1:30 p.m.
On Sunday, July 6th. It looked pretty wild.
Yeah, it was a little,
to use one of my favorite words.
Little wet out there.
Yeah. 'Twas moist.
'Twas moist.
Out on that track.
Yep.
So it looked a little scary, to be honest. I don't know. It was stressing me out. I couldn't really watch it because it was.
They were showing like onboard camera views.
How are they seeing it? Like, how do they see?
I think you're literally just going off of the leader, like you're right behind the leader, and you're just watching their red blinking lights coming off the back of the car, and that's the only way you can really tell.
That's crazy.
There was a lot of interesting different strategies with this weekend because it was so wet. So you had some people come into the pits before the race even started, change their tires from what they initially went out on. So during the formation lap, they're like, hey, it's way too wet. We need to swap to inters, which are intermediate tires, which are good for when it's wet. They have a lot more tread. The problem is they don't last for an extended period of time, but every team has 5 intermediate sets of tires. So you can make them last. Like, you can run through a whole set of 5 by the end of the race. So there was a lot of gamesmanship where, for example, Lance Stroll started at the back of the pack. He pitted 3 times by the time that everyone else had pitted 1 time, but he worked his way up from the back of the pack to at one point being 3rd. So that was pretty incredible. He ended up finishing lower in the top 10, but still in the points. So round of applause for him. But the story of the day, I guess one quick shout out, Lando Norris did win. He won. There was a 10-second penalty. Think what you will on it. But basically, Oscar Piastri was in the lead of the race. Verstappen was number 2. The safety car was out. Piastri basically brake checked him, which you are not allowed to do, especially with the minimal visibility that you had. So you had Verstappen nearly rear-end Piastri before the restart. That was when Verstappen was trying to warm up his tires. So then on the restart, Verstappen did not have warm tires, didn't have good traction, put his foot on the throttle, proceeded to spin himself, and then went back like 10 spots. So it was pretty hectic. But the story of the day, in my opinion, is the guy that came in 3rd place, Nico Hulkenberg, on his 249th start in F1. Yes, 249 starts. He finally got his first podium. He's been on multiple teams. He has been close numerous times, but never been able to get the job done. Today was the day he has officially gotten it. So, congrats to him, man. I mean, it
was wholesome. He was so happy.
That was awesome to see.
Yeah.
That was one where I've been reading like the posts and the comments and on the post here, post race. I don't see a single person that's upset about this. Like Ferrari fans, Red Bull fans, everybody's just kind of pumped that he got it done finally. So pretty sweet. He had the record for active drivers with the longest tenure of no podiums. So he can now reset
finally
that,
stop that.
ready to go
Yeah.
for the next one.
Aw.
So that was pretty sweet. But that was the last major sports update that I had.
Yeah. Well, good. Anyway, on to what really matters is girl dinner. So this is our women's sports segment. Talk about all things girly pops. Big thing going on right now, obviously, is the WNBA. And when you hear WNBA, you instantly think Caitlin Clark. So let's talk about her a little bit. First off, which is just interesting, she was voted the 9th best guard
By fellow players.
by fellow players. So
Number 1 in the fan vote.
yeah,
Do with
I
that
don't
what you
know.
will.
Yeah, do with that what you will. I mean, 9th seems kind of low. I wouldn't. I could. I could see not being first,
Yeah.
but 9th feels a little low. But
So
that's whatever.
I think by the media she was ranked 4th, and I think that's a suitable place
Yeah.
to rank her for this year. She's been out.
Did you what was the whole ranking for that? Did you
What
do
do
you
you
have
mean?
it?
No,
You
I
said
don't.
she was ranked 4th, so what's the rest?
I don't have the rest of them. But what I will say is that it makes sense that, like, I think the media ranking is correct. I don't think she deserves to be first. I don't know that she deserves to be ninth. The reason, like, she's great when she's out there, but the problem is she has missed a few games this year, and there's players that haven't missed a few games. So they've been you would say, a larger impact because they've been in the games. That was me trying
Okay.
to
Well,
say
now that
the
you've said
games.
this, I want to see.
I believe Paige Beckers was ranked uh, second in the fan vote.
You're talking about.
All right, I got it for you. All
Okay.
right, so Caitlin
Okay.
Clark, here's the rankings. You want fan rank, then media rank, then player rank?
Yeah.
Okay. Fan rank, I've got 1 through 10, so I'll just
Okay.
keep it to the top 3 for each one. In the fan rankings, number 1, Caitlin Clark. Number 2,
That makes sense.
Paige Beckers.
That makes sense.
Number 3, Kelsey Mitchell. In the media rankings, Alicia Gray, number 1. Sabrina Ionescu, number 2. Caitlin Clark,
Makes sense.
number 3. Not number 4. I was wrong there.
Okay.
Okay. Player ranking, Alicia Gray, number 1. Sabrina Ionescu, number 2. Skylar Diggins, number 3. And this one we will go down. Number 9, Caitlin Clark. Something interesting here, Paige Beckers and Natasha Cloud tied for 4th in the rankings here. So if you weight all of those, 254 gives Paige Beckers a weighted score of 3.25 versus Caitlin Clark 139 weighted score of 3.5. So depending on how you look at it.
So what's just like the math nerd rank? Like based off of all of their stats. Do we have that?
No, that's not a part of this.
No, I know, but like that's what I want to see. Because you know that the fan stuff is going to be biased. The media stuff, I don't know how they're doing their rankings. And then the voters are just, I mean, the player votes is a whole different thing. But I don't know. I would want to know, like, what are the, like, statistically, as the math nerd that I am,
This
what's
is
the ranking that way?
Use a good corporate term here. This is a good takeaway to bring back next week when we circle back on
We'll
this.
circle back next week. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and write that down as something
write
to
that down.
double click into here.
Circle back and double click.
That's still the wildest corporate term I've ever heard used in an actual conversation. Let's double click into this issue. Sir, what does that even mean? All right. Got it.
So anyway, that's that. That's where we're at with that. Related news. So while we were gone on our little hiatus, Caitlin Clark was out again with a groin injury. So she's missed 5 straight games. So that makes yesterday was her 9th regular season game, 10th overall, because she was also out for the Commissioner's Cup final, which Fever still won. Yay. Or, I don't know. Fever won.
Woo!
Oh. So they still won. And then, so that's a lot. I don't know. It's tough that she's been injured so much this year because she hadn't missed a game since high school.
Yeah.
Going into this season, and then she's just having a rough go of it this year.
Just one of those unfortunate things, though,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
if I had to guess, the Fever has been playing pretty decently without her, so they're probably like, from a trainer standpoint, hey, until you're 100%, you rest because we will need you in the playoffs when we get to that point. So if they can continue to win games, which they're doing, without her, then there's no reason to try and rush her back. Take it slow, take it safe.
Yeah, because you don't want it to be a worse injury and then be out for longer. Tough. But with that, they've got the All-Star game coming up, and she is one of the captains. So that's coming up on July 19th. I put June. It's July 19th.
Time flies, man.
I can't believe it's July. So Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier are the two captains. And so that will happen on July 19th, which is, what day is that?
It's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Next Saturday. So that's really all I got this week. Sorry. Well, I guess not sorry. It's been 40-something minutes already, so.
Yeah. But we have one final question. So I can't take credit for this question. I watched them ask it on the PGA Tour the other day. They were asking PGA.
Oh, I didn't know that's where this came from. Okay.
Yep, that is where this came from. So my question is that I'm totally stealing from them. Who wins a race? In a scenario where the race is you have to eat a hot dog and then run 100 meters. Usain Bolt or Joey Chestnut?
Absolutely Usain Bolt. Are you kidding me?
No shot. Joey Chestnut. 100%.
One hot dog? One singular hot dog.
Yes. Have you seen how fast Joey Chestnut eats one hot dog? The reason I'm saying that
Usain Bolt is a large man. It cannot be like...
Here's my thing. Joey Chestnut, running slow, could probably run a 15-second 100-meter. So, at Usain's best, he's like a little over 5 seconds faster than that. So, as long as Joey Chestnut can eat the hot dog 5 seconds faster than Usain Bolt can, which I believe he can, because
how fast do you think you could eat a hot dog?
No, not 5
One
seconds.
Hot dog.
Not 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds slower than Joey Chestnut. It'd be multiple seconds past
how long does it take him to eat one hot dog?
Well, quick math. Let's see here.
What is he just swallowing the thing whole? Like.
Oh no, you should. You don't want to. You don't want to watch.
I don't want to watch it. He doesn't get water because I know that's the thing they do. You don't get water. You're just eating a hot dog.
Oh, you don't get water?
No.
Let's see. How fast can Joey Chestnut eat a single hot dog? I like this is a top search. That means people are looking into it. All right. So at his best, he ate 76 hot dogs in one of the competitions. You get 10 minutes. So that is 7.6 hot dogs per minute, which comes out to one every 8 seconds. So let's say that's his average. You're going to get slower on the back end. I'm going to say at his fastest, he could eat a hot dog in 6 seconds. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's look.
That's with water.
How fast does the average person eat a hot dog?
Well, that's not going to give you what you want because it's like the average person is not racing to eat a hot dog.
Let's see. I was in a friendly contest in my youth. I don't know. That's total hot dogs consumed. There's no study as to how fast the average person can eat a hot dog.
Crazy that nobody's looked into this before.
Who would have thought?
That's crazy. There's a nap.
So yeah, I stand by my thought that Joey Chestnut would win here. He just has to eat. He has to eat the hot dog 5 seconds faster.
It's like Usain Bolt is a large man. I feel like it wouldn't take him that many bites to eat a hot dog,
No, and you gotta hold it down too. So Bolt can't
It's
like.
not 100 meter like it's fine. Like did you not do donut races in swimming growing up? Like it's not that serious.
No, we really didn't.
One singular. You never did a donut race? You
No.
like you do a lap and then you have to eat a donut and then you do another like it's a relay. You didn't have a fun summer swim team then.
I'm trying to see. This question has been asked a lot recently about the Usain Bolt versus Joey Chestnut. All right, this will be something I come back to.
All
This will
right.
be all right.
We're gonna have
So
to circle
you're gonna
back and double click into this
you're
next
gonna
week.
bring back statistics on WNBA guard rankings. I will bring statistics back on hot dog consumption.
Okay. Writing it
Um,
down so we don't forget. I spelled consumption wrong. Okay. All right. Well, that was
so with
a
that hard-hitting
wild
information
show.
there,
Thanks
this is
for listening if
important.
you did. I'm not sure why you did. We'll see you next week with the updates we promised.
People love the riveting hot dog conversation.
I'm not sure about that. Okay, bye.
Bye.